Don't be saying too much about Iran. They said that we're cool. They said that we are cool. They said African Americans have been through a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, something very unusual is happening in global politics. Iran is now sending messages saying Black Americans are safe. Yes, you heard that correctly. In the middle of rising tension between the United States and Iran, statements and discussion are spreading online, suggesting that Black Americans should not worry about being targeted in this conflict. Now, that has sparkled a huge debate across the internet, and some people are really furious about it. But before we talk about what really means, I want you to quickly watch the clip I'm about to show you, because what is being said here is shocking and many people around the world are reacting to it. So watch this clip first, then we are going to break it down together.
Don't be saying too much about Iran. They said that we're cool. They said that we are cool. They said African Americans have been through a lot. So don't say too much. Don't go over there and don't be doing too much. And you know, if you look like us and you wearing that camo, you better not be doing too much. Because they said that we cool. They said that we cool. So
if you've been around, I told you how Iran was with it. They released all the black hostages. And said, we don't want to harm no black people. America does not treat the black people well, and all the black people are welcome in Iran. So there's something going on with that. Iran, they must know something. You know what I'm saying? They must have some idea, because think about it like this.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Message to Iran. Yes, my brothers. This is Black America. Yes, we have nothing to do with what Donald Trump is doing. I just want to say to you, my brothers, remember that joke we was talking about with dude put the comb up and, you know what I'm saying, he had the mustache and we all start laughing and stuff? You know what I'm saying? You remember that? You know, y'all remember that? We cool, bro. Remember, we friends with bros, bro.
This is a message from the blacks to the Iranian military. We don't have nothing to do with the United States. So please, if there's any way you can leave us out of it, we have a number, we have an email address. Black Twitter is up and running. If you can just tweet us what's going to happen before it happens so that we can move accordingly. We just want to put it out there. The United States does not represent us. Anything they say is being told against our will. We promise you we do not agree with anything they are saying. We as a black
This is why Iran released the Black Americans hostages and refused to release others. So in 1979, university students in Iran held 66 Americans hostage. This happened in U.S. Embassy in Tehran. Iran leader then checked the hostages and found out that there were some black people. So he stated that he was going to release 13 people, 13 Black Americans, and he was not even asking for anything. The main reason why these people were held hostage is because U.S. Gave asylum to their king, the king.
Hear, Imam, that today, perhaps today, some black hostages and some female hostages will be released from the American embassy compound. Is that true?
The freedom of the women and blacks will be given. Women,
I swear, I learn something new every day.
In 1979, Iran made a decision about black Americans that shocked the United States. When Americans were being held inside the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, the world expected a long international crisis. But within days, something unexpected happened. Some of the first Americans released weren't random. They were black. Here's where it all gets real. Iran's leader at the time announced that black Americans should be released early. His reasoning stunned the world. He said black Americans were already oppressed in American society. Think about that. An enemy.
What's up, family? Did you know during the 1979 hostage crisis, Iran released all 13 black American hostages and kept everybody else? I ain't got no problem with that. Now, those claps are not because I'm happy.
Nope.
I just watched that video on that flight from Nashville that had to ground in Atlanta because of a threat. Yeah, heads down, hands up, heads down, hands up, and they escorted that one man up off that joint. All I could think was sleeper cell. Sleeper cell. We don't know who they are and where they are, but I got a feeling that they are going to be where these people are. So we need to know.
So the Iranian government released a group of black hostages, and today we're going to discuss why and what happened. But before I get...
Y'all do know that Iran had freed the black people back in the 70s when they held U.S. People hostage? They had U.S. captives in like 1970 something. You can look this up. And they freed the black people because they said black people was oppressed in their own country, so they let us go. Free Iran. Duh.
Hi guys, so I'm not sure what's going on, but I heard this, that the Iranian leader has released all the black military and hostages. Are y'all hearing this as well? Follow up.
Well, what does this mean? We've been at.
I'll tell you what it means. It means don't mess with Yahuwah's chosen people, the people of the promise, the people of the covenant. All praise to the Most High, Abba Yahuwah.
So how relevant is November 1979 to today? You just heard that the Ayatollah said, no, we're going to release the black Americans. They basically don't have shit to do with this. And he was identifying with the black Americans being oppressed in America as the same as they're being oppressed by the American government at that time. Now, the other people, they had to stay until 1981, right? So they...
Hey, yo, we're sitting up here watching two white women get thrown under the bus by a predominantly white male created disaster through immigration enforcement and mass deportation, right? Just think about that, right? More importantly, did you know that like in the late 70s, Iran took about 60 some odd hostages and they gave 13 back, right? Within the first 2 weeks of the hostage situation. And they said for the women that they...
The Iranians have always been on the side of black Americans. Let's talk about it. I don't like bringing up race and the division that it causes, but this is a different point here. The point is that we have a habit of erasing history that is inconvenient in this country. For example, in Texas, now you see they're trying to erase slavery from textbooks. They're trying to tell kids that the slaves migrated to America and that they were happy on the plantations where they were getting free.
The old leader of Iran was unalived. The new leader has been chosen. And shit finna get real. Well, not for us, for the white folks. And I explain why I said that in this video. First thing first, the new leader. Y'all remember this baby, the 14-month-old that got unalived during the war on February 28th? Well, that is the new leader's niece. The new leader is the son of the old leader, and he hates the U.S. worse than his dad did. Not only did he lose his dad February 28th, but he also lost his wife, his son, his brother, and his...
So this victory for Iran is not just a victory for them. It's a victory for Africa. It's a victory for the entire Middle East. And it's a victory for BRICS. Because what we have seen the past 25 years is the Western powers in NATO submit everyone in Africa and in the Middle East. We saw what they did in Afghanistan. We saw what they did in Iraq, Syria, Libya, Congo, Sudan. All of those atrocities are driven by the U.S. and the Western.
So I actually have this theory that the reason why America, even though it does so much wrong, hasn't been or anything like that is because black Americans live on this soil, and because they have done so much to us, they know that they cannot harm us. And the reason why the government and etc., they want us out, but they...
Black people and Iranians, know your history together. Black people who descend from the slave trade and Iranians should be like this, because Iranians are the ones who freed your people the first time. Let me explain. When you read the Bible, you see a people called the Medes and the Persians. Who are the Medes and the Persians today? Those are the Iranians. And the Iranians had a king. His name was Cyrus. And Cyrus wrote a decree to free the tribe of Judah from Babylon and send them back to Jerusalem, the land they were exiled from, for their disobedience to God.
Hold on, so you mean to tell me that Iran captured some soldiers and the only ones he let go was the black ones? I like y'all niggas for a reason. Yeah, am I right?
Someone asked me how it was as a black woman being in Iran. And I told her, I was like, straight up, it was the best travel experience I've ever had in my life. I was a celebrity. I was stopping traffic in cities. I was having photo shoots with people and their entire families. I was getting presents. I was living the travel life. It was incredible, especially because I was living in India, which is very racist, very, very racist. And then I went to Iran, which was just like, I was so excited to see tourists and they were so, so happy.
All right, you just saw that. And honestly, when I first heard this statement, I had to pause for a moment because this is not something you normally hear in politics. Usually, when two countries are in tension, they talk about government, politics, sanctions, or diplomacy. But here, we are hearing a message being framed around race and the treatment of black people in America. Iranian officials and commentators have sometimes criticized the United States over racial discrimination and the treatment of minorities, particularly African Americans. So when a message like this appears, it's instantly becomes controversial. Yes, it really became controversial, and the internet has exploded with the reaction. So people were saying, why would Iran say something like this? What we are seeing here is not just about Black America. This is actually about global politics and narrative. Countries often try to influence international opinion by highlighting issues inside rival nations. For example, Iran has previously accused the United States of mistreating black citizens and minorities when responding to American criticism about human rights. So when statement like this appears, many analysts believe it is part of a political messaging strategy. It is basically saying, look at what is happening inside your own country. But the moment race entered, international politics, emotion rise very quickly. That's why people online are debating this so intensely right now. So some people feel the message is meant to show solidarity with Black Americans. Others feel it's political propaganda aimed to criticize the United States. And that is why this story has gone viral. The tension between the United States and Iran has been going on for decades, from sanctions to military threats to nuclear disputes. The relationship these two countries has been extremely complicated since the Iranian Revolution in 1979 years. And recently, tensions have increased again with warning about possible retaliation and religious conflict. So, when tensions have increased again with warning about possible retaliation and religious conflict, when message like this starts appearing online, people begin asking bigger questions. Is this a political signal? Is this a political signal? Is it a psychological message, or it is simply people online interpreting things in different ways? Let's be honest. Yes, the reason this topic is exploding online is because it touches on three powerful issues at the same time: race in America, international conflicts, global political narrative. When those three collide, and those three things collide, the internet reacts immediately. But here is my personal take. I think situation like this shows how complicated global politics really is, because the moment geopolitical conflict begins, ordinary people get pulled into the narrative that they never asked to be part of. And sometimes these narratives are shaped by media, politics, or even social media discussion. So instead of jumping to conclusion, it's important for people to analyze what is actually happening and why certain messages are being spread. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this message was meant to show support for Black Americans, or do you think it was simply a political strategy to criticize the United States? And here is a deeper question. Do you think global conflicts are now being fought not just with weapons, but with narrative and public opinion? Let me know what you think. If you found this discussion interesting, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notification so you don't miss the next breakdown, because we are going to continue covering these global stories and reactions as they unfold. And trust me, the world is changing very fast right now.